Hi everyone, my name's Mark.
My name is Penny.
And we are the Oyster Boys. Today we're going to be reviewing a Idaho 7 New England IPA, which is a homebrewed beer with a recipe kit that we bought from the Malt Miller, so the link's in the description down below. This beer is the first of the homemade beers that we're going to be reviewing, and there's also going to be some brew day videos coming up, so make sure that you like and subscribe if you don't want to miss out on those.
So, the New England IPA relies massively on strong hop flavours, aromas, and has very little bitterness. This is achieved by adding little to no hops throughout the boil, so very little alpha acid is extracted, and instead, all the hops are late boil additions and whirlpool hops, and a huge amount of dry hop really brings that aroma and flavour to the front of the beer.
So what you're going to see with the New England IPA is a beer that is really, really hazy. You can barely see through it. It looks like a solid block in the glass. The haze from that beer comes from several different things. The makeup of the grist, which is the grain that you use when you put the beer together. We use flaked wheat and rolled oats as well, and they're both really good at promoting haze in the beer. And also, when you introduce a dry hop addition into the beer very, very early on into the ferment, while the beer is still bubbling away in the bucket, that creates what's called biotransformation. The hops interact with the yeast and they cause you to get a really, really strong fruity flavour from the hops, and also get that classic haze as well.
So in this NEIPA or NEIPA, we should be expected to see some creamy yellow, orange beer with quite hazy with a white head.
When we score this beer, we'll be rating it on 5 different categories to come up with what we call an oyster score. Every beer that we taste and do reviews of is going to be marked in the same way with the same criteria, so we'll be able to chart the beers throughout this journey, and at the end of it, you know, when we're all old, like 80 years old, we'll be able to see which was our favourite beer, which we probably won't be able to get anymore.
Can always make it again.
Yeah.
So those categories are appearance, aroma, flavour, price, and sessionability. When I mean sessionability, I mean, can you drink 10 pints of the stuff?
Right, so we're going to pour some beers. Okay, so here we go. This is the Idaho 7 New England IPA. As you can see, it is...
It's a lovely colour, isn't it?
No, it's fantastic, yeah. I mean, you can't see through it. As we said, it's hazy. But so let's just go in. So looking at that, you've got this sort of... It's almost like a light tangerine colour with a thick white head.
Yeah,
that's white, isn't it?
It's what we expected, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As well, and it's held the head really well. I mean, we've had this for a minute or two out while we pulled them, so it's held it really well.
Okay, so I mean, looking at that, out of 10.
It's supposed to be what it looks like.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like you say, it's hazy. You can't see through it. It looks fruity. It looks first Quentin. I mean, out of 10, what are you going to go for?
I'm going to give that an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
I think 8.5. I think if you was to think of a New England IPA, that comes to my head, that exact image. So,
okay.
Aromas.
Okay,
we give this a sniff.
Wow.
I mean,
okay, you can't smell this, right? But it's like you've walked into a fruit shop, basically. I mean, it's just...
You can smell the pineapples, mango.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all coming through.
Loads of peach in there as well. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, that makes me want to just dive into the glass. But yeah, pineapple, orange.
I think you could sell that.
Heavy citrus, peach. It's everything that you want from a New England IPA.
You could sell it as an air freshener.
Just driving around with it in your car. Maybe just drink 5 pints in the car.
Yeah.
Don't, please. Please don't.
It's definitely not a driving beer.
No.
It's too big as a driving beer.
Okay, so I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, 9 for me as well. I mean, it really is like smelling a fruit bowl. Yeah, it really is.
But let's dive in for the flavour. And I don't know, because you don't really like the hoppier beers so much, do you?
No, I do tend to swing towards the sort of wheat beers, less hopping. A double dry hop is intense for me. So this, when you said lots of hops at first, I was a bit like, oh, is this going to be my cup of tea? But late addition, low bitterness. Yeah, let's see how this goes. So.
Okay, so cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, wow,
that's juicy, isn't it?
That is so juicy. And really, I mean, it honestly tastes exactly like it smells, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It is fruity. It almost feels like we've added fruit to it.
Yeah, because I mean you do get a lot of beers where they will put either a pulp or they'll put fruit into the fermenting bin to try and get those flavours out. This tastes like we've done that, but just with the addition
Pure
of hops. There's nothing else. So,
and just the one type of hop as well.
Yeah, just the one type of hop, the Idaho 7, which is from Idaho, hence the name.
Yeah.
It's not a hop that I've ever used before, but I definitely would again.
Yeah,
after this beer, you know, it's
definitely. And there is a slight bitterness at the start, but not much at all. It just balances it out, and then it just get that juiciness. Sort of just hits you straight away, doesn't it?
Yeah, so there were no hops added throughout the boil in this beer at all. The only hops that went in were as a whirlpool or hop stand addition, which is after you've finished boiling your beer, you then sort of drop the temperature down to around 80 degrees and shove the hops in and let them sit there for 20 minutes. So you're not getting any bitterness out really, it's just the flavour. I mean, it's got a bit of a grassy, almost like a grassy flavour as well, which comes from
it's like pepperness almost, would you say?
Yeah, and that's just from adding the hops into the fermenting bin. You can get like a little grassy note to it. It's not strong, it's not overpowering. The main focus still is.
And what do you think, adding the hops during the fermentation, what do you think, that's brought out, what change do you think that's?
So that's where you'll get all of the aroma. Is where when you dry hop and you shove it in there. I mean, and that aroma really is right in your face. I can smell it from here. I'm not even into the beer. I can smell it from here. But it's too good. I've got to go for another one.
And this is the first time we've actually used temperature-controlled fermentation as well, and that's probably made a massive difference and brought out those flavours, because there's definitely no off notes there, is there? No. So I rescued an old fridge, and I've got like an Inkbird temperature controller. I'll put a link in the description down below to it if anyone needs to have a look into those a bit more. So you know, we're able to control the temperature of the ferment within 1 degree either way of where we want. Whereas previously, I mean, the British weather that we've had recently has been up to 30 degrees down to 15 degrees. So 30 degrees yesterday to now, I think 15 degrees before. So
it's not ideal if you're fermenting in a garage, which I currently do.
Because we are only homebrewers.
Yeah, for now. We'll see where we end up in a few years.
So, sessionability?
You see, sessionability for me with this beer, it's a tough one, because although it smells great and it looks fantastic, it's not too strong. It should only be about 5%, 5.3%. But I don't think I could have a whole night on this.
For me, no. I think it'd be nice if maybe like if you're having some food or something like that and you just had a beer there sort of thing, but like you say, if I went out with the lads, I don't think I could spend too long on it.
As soon as I walked into the bar on a scorching hot day, one of these would be fantastic.
Yes, I agree.
Maybe 2 of them, but after that I've just got to go on to something a bit easier to drink.
So are we scoring session? It is pints per point?
No.
Or
I suppose. You can do it like that. So, I mean, I
might adjust it if we're having any Belgian beers. Obviously, no one's drinking pints of Duvel. Well, maybe we are.
I mean, I'd give this a 3. I'd give it a 3 out of 10 for session.
I think it'd be 2 for me.
Yeah,
2. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So, and that's not downgrading on the beer. That's just so you guys at home purely understand the sort of how the beer goes down and how you feel about it. Sessionability, if it's 1, doesn't mean it's a bad score. It might be an absolute wildy, but you'd only have one of them. So please don't think that it's a bad score. It's just to give you an idea more of the flavour. Yeah, and the last thing that we rate our beers on is price as well. Now, maybe a little unfair for this one, because these are going to come out substantially cheaper than any other beers really. The homemade ones always will, which I mean they'll always rank highly, I suppose, won't they? But for us, I think this kit cost maybe £23 or £25, and we got 38 beers. Yeah. Okay, so 38 beers for 23 quid. Yeah. It's very cheap. It's got to be a 10 out of 10 on price off the back of that for me. I don't know about you. Would you want it to be cheaper? No. Well, then you don't want to. Obviously, too cheap you go downgrade. You know, £23 for 38 bottles of beer. Pints is a good score for me. So,
so there we go. Okay, guys, that's a review. Here's the oyster score for this beer. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. We're going to be adding more content regularly, so smash that subscribe button as well, and we will see you soon.
Boys.